Hello everyone, this is Revan Sita Chinmagiri and today I am going to start a Python topics. For grade 12 it will be for revision part, and for grade 11 it will be for your exam purpose, right? So these are the things we are going to study in Python for grade 11. So from variables and data types to the dictionary, right? For grade 11 functions to the SQL and Python, right? So today we are going to cover four topics, that is variables and data types, keywords, operators, operands, input, output and comments, right? So before going to the variables and data types, we'll see how to install Python into a computer system, right? So I'll show you. So first go to the Google Chrome, right? Any browser you can use. So type python.org, right? So python.org, you'll get a first link, that is a welcome to Python, welcome to python.org. Click on it. So you go to the downloads. So here you will get a, according to your operating system, you can download the Python software, right? So I'm using Windows, so download for Windows. So I have already installed in my computer system. You just click on Python 3.9, it is the latest version of Python software. So click on it and then go to the continue and install and give the location wherever you want. Okay, so this is the procedure to install Python language into a computer system, right? So next you need to type here IDLE, so which is going to be your Python editor. You can use any editor, so like Notepad can also be an editor for the Python. Thing is, you need to save while saving a Python code, you need to use a format or extension as .py, right? So it recognizes it is a Python programming language, right? So for example, in C++ we are going to use a .cpp as extension to save our file, right? So this is an editor, you can use it for the Python coding, right? So we'll go first. So first topic, that is a Python variables, right? So what do you mean by the variables here? Say for example, in your computer system, the huge memory block will be there. So I have taken one example here, 35 and 25 have been stored in your memory location, but I don't know, or the Python language or a code doesn't know where exactly 35 and 25 numbers are exist, right? To get those numbers, I have to use a variable as a data type here. So variable as a identification, we can say. So the values are going to be assigned to some variables. That variable is going to bring into access whenever you execute, whenever you create your coding in particular languages like C++. So different types of methods we use, so conditions we use according to the languages. But in Python, so normal variable assignment, we have values are going to be assigned here. Thing is, why we need to use a variables here is, in all languages it is same. To get that value into access for your coding, we are going to use a variables, right? So 35 and 25, so 25 has been assigned to A's, I have assigned into A's. So meaning is, whenever I use A's in my code, the 25 is going to be exist, 25 is going to be access here, right? So A's is nothing but a container, you can update any values to that variable, right? So we need to follow two conditions whenever we use or you use variables into a code generation. For example, so the first condition is how to use a variable as alphanumeric, means it is a combination of both number and character can be used. But so whenever you start using variables, you cannot start with the numbers, right? So you cannot start with the numbers, in between you can use, but you cannot start with the number as a variable. And you can start and also you can start with the underscore, right? So we'll see practically how these variables are going to be worked, right? So I'll open my editor here. See, first I said, so I can use a number. So number is equal to file tick. Okay, so if I call number here, then the 5 has been stored to the number. So meaning is, the 5 has been assigned to the variable as a number. So as I said, you cannot start a variable with the number. So let me try one. So 4 number is equal to 5, so it gives an syntax error because it cannot identify, Python language cannot identify variable which starts with the number, but in between you can use, for example, number 4 er is equal to 5, so it identifies. So alphanumeric you can use, but you cannot start with the number. So one more method is the underscore you can use, name, okay, so it recognizes underscore name is equal to 8, right? So it is taking name is the value of 8 is been stored in a underscore name variable, right? Suppose if you do not want to change the value assigned to the variables, say for example while generating a code, the name of your school you don't want to change into entire code, so means it is going to be a static or standard one we can say, then the variable must be used as a capital letters. Say for example I'll take a name is equal to APS, right? So when I call name APS, so these values, so name is a variable here, I have used it as a capital letters, all the letters are capitals here, so meaning is I don't want to change my value into entire my code, okay? So one more standard value we have, so that is a pi 3.14, so it extends the number of values, right? So but I don't want to change, so I want to maintain only 3.14 to the entire my code, then you can use a standard values. So it returns only you have to write it as a capital letters when you don't want to change your values, right? So this is about the variables. Next so here so the definition of a variable is a names location used to store data in the memory. As I already said, it is helpful to think a variable as a container. As I said, the container is nothing but a, so whatever the values you want to put into container, that can be done here. So if you want, you can change or update the values also. So for example, so I'll take a is equal to 6, and when I call a, the 6 value has been stored to the a, but so I want to update a value again. So initially it was a 6, now it becomes a 7, means the container is nothing but you can put any values if you want, okay? It should be valid one, okay? So the next one is the Python data types. When you start generating your code, keep it in mind, these are the data types we are going to use into entire codes, right? So integer and long. Integer is nothing but a numbers which is a combination of both a positive as well as a negative numbers. Also you can say the positive and whole number, right? So these are nothing but a integers. A is equal to 7, 6, these are all, these values are integers. And integer and long means the big numbers can also be stored here. So I'll show you big number. If your values are bigger, then that can be also be stored. So whenever it requires into your code, that can be utilized, right? So the next one is a float or a floating point, is nothing but a decimal values. If you want to use a decimal values into your code, decimal number, which is nothing but it can be separated by using a points. So 5.659, I call a decimal number. So this is okay. So one more method we have to represent a decimal value. Say for example a is equal to, so I'll take 4 exponent minus 2. So this statement represents that 4 into 10 raised to minus 2, okay? So let me execute it. So 0.04, right? So a, it can also be written as a 4 exponent 2, right? It is nothing but a 4 into 10 raised to 2, right? So 400.0, so point it has been separated. So this is how we use a decimal values in Python. Next one is a complex number we have, right? So complex number in mathematics, we know that the complex number has been divided by two parts, that is a real and imaginary part, okay? It consists of both real as well as a imaginary number. So how it works? So 3 plus 5j, okay? See, j is nothing but a imaginary value here. the most of the languages uses I as an imaginary number, right? So but Python only understands a j. Whenever I write a j with the combination of other number, there is nothing but a imaginary in Python, right? So a I have been passed that as a 3 plus 5j. 3 is the real number here and 5j is going to be your 5 is the imaginary number, right? So next b is equal to 2 plus 2j, right? Okay, so I want to make an addition of these two. So only real part and imaginary part are going to be separately added here, right? So 3 plus 2 is equal to 5, 5 plus 2 is equal to 7 here, right? So this is about an imaginary, complex number. Next one is a boolean. So boolean is nothing but only two conditions are going to be satisfied here, either true or false. So I'll use a one variable here, is correct is equal to true. Okay, so true is the keyword here. So in Python, in entire keyword, whatever the keyword you use, only 3 keywords are the special, whereas the first letter is going to be capital. So the first one is a true, the first letter should be capital whenever you use a keyword as a true. Next one is a false, the first letter should be capital, and the third one is a none. These are the 3 keywords. Make sure that you have been use a first letter as a capital, then only these are going to be works, then only the Python language is going to be understand, right? So is correct, I want to call is correct again, right? So it is a true because I have passed the keyword as a true. So the next one is a is wrong is equal to false. So is wrong. So see here, so for true also have used a capital as first letter, and for false also have used the first letter as a capital here. Okay, so in boolean you are going to use only two conditions, either whether it is a true or false, right? Next is, so these are the 4 data types. We are going to use it for the numbers, and for letters, or if you want to make any list, means we can use a none, sequence, sets and mapping. So about none I have explained. So how to use this none in coding? Suppose if a is equal to, I have to use a first letter as a capital, none. If I want to call a once again, so there is nothing in a. Suppose after you generate the code, if you want to assign something to a, right? If you want to assign something to a which is none, that can also be done here. Say for example, a is equal to 6. Initially it was none, there was nothing in a, but I have assigned 6 to the a. So none is going to be replaced with what? 6 here. So whenever you want, you can utilize it, right? So this is about none. So make sure that I have used a first letter as a capital here, right? So the next one is sequence. Okay, so sequence consists of a list, tuples and string. So these things I'll be explaining in the next videos. Sequence are nothing but if you want to make some list of students, so class list of students, so sequences are going to be very helpful. Next one is a sets. Sets is nothing but if you, the difference between sequence and sets here is, whenever you make a list of students, some duplication of values are going to be repeated. Suppose if 2 students are sharing same name, it takes only one name in sets. Mapping means what? Key player. Suppose if you want to use only one keyword, you want to assign multiple values to that keyword, that can be done. So we'll see it in a next class, how to use this sequence, sets and mapping, right? So the next one is a Python keywords. Just have a look at these are the keywords you are going to use to develop your codes here, right? So other than that, if you use your own keyword, that the Python cannot able to understand, right? So as I said, 3 keywords, that is a false, none and true. So these are the 3 keywords where the first letter should be capital, right? So the next one is a Python operators. We have some 4 different types of operators here: arithmetic, assignment, relational or comparison, logical operator, right? So arithmetic operations includes plus, minus, division, star here represents multiplication, which can also be called as asterisk, Next one is a modulus. If you want to display your result in the form of a remainder, then you can use a modulus. Double division is nothing but if you want to get only the floor values, the standard value. Say for example, if you are using the division of 5 by 3, so 5 by 3 you will get a long value 1.666 something. Okay, so if you want to get only the standard value, that is a 1, then you can use the double slash. Okay, so the next one is a double star here. So the double star is nothing but not a double multiplication. Whenever you want to use it as a power, 5 star star 2, which is nothing but a 5 to the power 2. So how these works practically, we'll see. So I'll take a is equal to 5, b is equal to 3. So I want to make a plus b. See here, a and b are the two operands. I am making operation on a and b by using a operator plus here. Okay, 5 plus 3 is equal to 6. Easy. Plus, minus, division and multiplications, only you need to use a different types of operators here. Okay, so for minus a minus b I can use, so that is 2, and for multiplication a into b, that is a 15. For division, a divided by b, so 1.6667. So as I said, if you use a double bar, you will get a standard value. Say for example, a by b, only 1 will return, so the remaining after the decimal point it ignores. Next what, a star star b, so means a is the 6 here, sorry, a is the 5 here, and b is the 3 here, 5 to the power 3, so which is 125. Okay, so these are the arithmetic operators. Next one is assignment operators. Assignment operators are nothing but see, if you see here, so have assigned 5 to the a and 3 to the b. If you want to store some other value, I'll take one more example. A is equal to 4, b is equal to 4. Next, I want to store addition of two numbers into another variable, right? So c is equal to a plus b. Okay, so which is 8 here. Okay, so I have used 3 variables here, right? A, B are the different values. Addition of the 2 values have been stored into C variable, which is another variable I have used. If you don't want to use one more variable, one extra variable, then you can use these assignment operators. See how it works. A plus equal to B, so it represents that A plus B, right? So again a plus b, and it is updating, again it is storing into same variable, that is a, right? So if I call a here, a was a 4 here, right? A is the 4 here and b is the 4 here. Again I am assigning into the a variable only, which is 8, right? So meaning is, so no need to use a extra variable, so same variable is going to be update, right? So these are the assignment operators, right? So minus equal to is also same, again it operates and give back to the same variable. All are same only, just try it in your home. Next one is a relational and comparison. So here we are going to compare with the 2 objects. So for example, if a is 5 and b is the 6, right? So whether a is equal to b, okay, only 2 statements are going to be proved, either true or false. So whether a is equal to b, so a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 6, it is a false. It should return a statement as a false here. This is about a first one. Okay, so the next one is a is not equal to b, which is correct. So both the statements are same, but writing skill, here we are going to use an exclamation symbol, here there we have been used double equals to, so which is also a true. A is not equal to b, it is a correct one, right? A is 5 and b is equal to 6. So like this different relational operators you can use, less than or greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. So these are the 4 we have that you can use. 6 we have that you can use whenever it is required. So the next operator is logical operator. Here and or, 2 operators works on the different aspects. Say for example and, so and is nothing but both the conditions should be true, For example, so binary values we know 0 and 1. So 0, one value is 0 and one more value is a 1. The result is going to be given in AND operator is a 0, right? So 0 0 0 again. So if you want to prove AND operator as a true, then both the condition must be true. But in OR, any of the one conditions, if it is a true, then it returns a true only. So how it works, we'll see. So not I'll explain. So a is equal to 6 will take, again b is equal to 3. Okay, so I'll take a is greater than 2, which is correct, right? And b is less than 1. See, the first condition is true and operator I have used here is a AND. Okay, so a is greater than 2, that is a correct, but b is not less than 1, so it should be false. Okay, the same statement I'll use, a is greater than 2 and or b is less than 1. See, in this condition again first statement is true, that is a is greater than 2, but second one b is less than is false, but still it returns as a true because I have used a operator as a OR here. Okay, so it is a true. Any one of the conditions, if it is a true, is going to be true, but in AND case one of the condition get false, then it is going to be false again, right? And not, it makes an invert. For example, if your statement is correct, so I'll take it, a is equal to 3, which is correct. If I use not a is equal to 3, so actually it is a equal to 3, so it is a true, but it returns as a syntax error. Not a is equal to 3 cannot assign to the operator. Okay, so I'll take a is equal to 3 and b is equal to 4, right? Not a is equal to, not a is greater than 2. Okay, so not a is greater than 2 is false, but it is returning as a true. So means it makes as a invert. Okay, if it is a false, true. The statement is a false, it is a true. If the statement is a true, it is going to be false. Reverse. Okay, so the last one, the last topic is input output, right? So input and output are the two functions, we can say it as of two functions where how we are going to use this input and output is very important. So how this works, we'll see. So input is nothing but a giving input values. Say I is equal to a is equal to 3, b is equal to 6 I have been used. Okay, so these are nothing but inputs, but user cannot identify what exactly these numbers are. Then we can use a input as a keyword here to identify users what exactly the values are they are entering, right? Say for example a name, I'll take name is equal to input. Okay, so it waits for the name. I'll give it as a Tejas. So if I return a name, so Tejas is going to be written, right? So like this you can use input function here. For example, name, I'll take name is equal to input of, so I want to write one statement here, enter the name of the, enter your name, right? So enter your name, so I'll take it as a Tejas again. So name I have used it as a variable name, so Tejas, right? So it makes user to identify, it is asking something. Enter your name is nothing but I have to enter my name. Enter your age, if I change means I have to enter my age. So this is how according to your convenient you can make it by using a input one, right? Next one is how to use an output here. See, the output is nothing but I will use one more statement, a is equal to 4, or else I'll take it as age is equal to 40, right? So multiplication I want to make, multiplication is equal to 2 here, right? So I want to make multiplication with m. Okay, so it is written 80, but user cannot identify what exactly the 80 is. Then I'll use a print statement here. Print of the age of the person is. Okay, so this is an optional. See, this statement is an optional. So, okay, you can write anything here. So whatever you write, that will be executed, right? So I have to pass this one, that is a star, that is multiplication, sorry, age multiplied by m, right? So the age of the person is 80. So it looks something that what exactly the system is displaying or giving an output. So it is very easy to identify what exactly the system wants to tell to the users, or what exactly the user wants from the system, right? So these are the topics we have covered today. In the next class, so I'll go with the conditional statement. The conditional statement is nothing but we are going to use three loops here: for loop, if loop, and while loop. If necessary, I'll use some more loops, for example do while loop and while loop. So sorry, in loops, in conditional statements we will be using some logic things here, right? Greater than or greater than, less, equal, how to use, where they are going to be useful, the string, list, and tuples. These things will be using in a sequences and dictionary, right? For grade 11 functions, some of the advanced functions we are going to be using for the grade 12 standard Python libraries. So how to install the Python libraries, what are the advantages of using the Python libraries, we'll see here, and how to handle the files, and how to make a program, whatever you write a code, how to make it as efficient, right? And we're going to use the stack and queue. At last, SQL and Python. So okay, SQL I have already explained you, just you go through the videos. So how to link that database to the Python. So it deals with the project. We need to combine SQL with the Python. So it is for only grade 12 standard. So for grade 11 we'll make a one general project. So how to, on general project we'll list the requirements first, then we'll go to the project, right? So for grade 12th, SQL and Python should be merged. Okay, merge. We'll see it in the next class, how to make how we are going to combine this SQL and Python. We'll see it in the next class. So in next class I'll explain the remaining topics. Thank you.